Right. More news at the Sawa. Nehawu affiliated workers at the Council for Medical Schemes and their management are at loggerheads. The workers are protesting, filing a wage negotiation deadlock after wage talks stalled. CMS unilaterally implemented a 5.5% increase instead of an 8.5% salary increase tabled in line with inflation. So perhaps for more on this, we joined by Lerato Sehularo, CMS Nehawu chairperson. Lerato, good afternoon. Thanks for your time with us. You're on the SABC.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Perhaps you can give us an update on the back of the protest to the CMS offices yesterday. What emerged?
What has emerged is that the CMS has failed to give employees proper living wage adjustments for the past 3 financial years. In 2021, 2022, the employer gave employees a 1.5% increase, which they aligned to a peer CBC agreement, which we do not necessarily fall under because we are Schedule 3A entity. And that increase also, we are meant to be getting our increase on the 1st of April. That increase was only implemented on the 1st of April 2022, just a mere month before the end of the financial year. In 2022-23, we negotiated, they implemented a 5.5 when we requested an 8.5 after doing a detailed analysis and saying this is where inflation is sitting, this is how the cost of living is affecting employees. We need an 8.5, then they unilaterally implemented an 5.5% increase. That increase was only implemented in November. We are in 2023-2023 financial year. We haven't had any cost of living adjustment for salary increases, which were meant to be implemented on the 1st of April 2023. Hence, the employees are on strike.
No, absolutely. Thank you for that context. Perhaps because the employer didn't adhere, respond to the wage demands at this point, what has been their response to date?
If I had one, I would actually give it to you. That's the sad thing about it. It's not through lack of the union failing to engage with the employer. It took us time to get to where we are now. We have requested meetings, numerous meetings. We have even requested to have engagement with the board, the council, which is appointed, which is in charge of governance. They have refused to engage with us. We have even tried to implore them and say, in terms of Principle 16 of King 4, the governing structure has a responsibility to engage with its stakeholders, to govern the organization in the best interest of all stakeholders. Nothing. They still refused and said they had no business to meet with us.
Thank you for that. Perhaps even citing King 4 principles. I think from here into, what are your demands and what action will you then be taking? Should there continue to be a lack of response from CMS's end?
At the moment, we have our strike action started on last week, Thursday. We are on Thursday, Friday. We're on day 4 of where employees have decided enough. We have tried to engage. We are withdrawing our labor until such demands are met. We have handed in our memorandum. The employer is yet to respond. They have indicated that they will respond by close of business today. We are still waiting. But you see, the thing is, the demands are not new. It shouldn't take this long to even respond because nothing is new. We didn't bring anything new on the table.
No, absolutely. Is the strike protected at this point as well? I mean, I know I was reading about some of the occurrences leading up to this point. CMS also for the past 3 years have not implemented salary increases and payment of bonuses in accordance with policies. So you're ultimately saying that the leadership has made a mockery of the policies. So help us understand, exactly where to from here.
To respond to your first question, most definitely the strike is protected. Okay. It is allowed. We did go to the CCMA in November. There we delayed to get the certificate because we didn't have picketing rules. You must understand we have never embarked on industrial action at CMS. We didn't think we would need to get to this stage. We got the certificate in February because we went back and forth, and we got that. We gave the employer notice. Even before we gave them notice, we again requested a meeting with the board. It was declined. We even cited the policy. We cited section 9.6.1 of our remuneration policy. The response we got was that they want an explanation on an interpretation on a policy that they approve, that is implemented with the council, that employees understand that it's there, but yet it's not being complied with by the very structure that is supposed to oversee governance.
So, Lerato, obviously there's tactics at play in relation to the bargaining process and the negotiation process to perhaps frustrate those affiliated. And I wonder if we're going to look at what is transpiring at CMS, look at whether it is under attack, whether these responses or lack thereof are intentional, is it coordinated? Will CMS collapse? What are your thoughts at this point?
Look, as Nehawu, we would not want CMS to collapse. Without CMS, there are no employees. Without employees, there's no union. Our members need to put food on the table. And not only that, we are passionate about the work that we do. Really, honestly, the work that we do in this organization is important. We are regulating medical schemes industry in the best interest of beneficiaries. And that work needs to continue. It cannot just collapse. CMS is a creature, it's by statute because we have an act that has, put this place into existence. So it needs to function. So, you have to ask yourself for an organization like this to function, we need strong governance principles. We expect schemes to comply with the act. We enforce compliance. So governance should be second nature to us. It should not be an afterthought. So it is very important that this structure continues to stay. So one has to ask yourself, when you get a board that comes in that is supposed to understand governance and they need to make sure that CMS, with all these legislative changes that are happening, what role are we playing? Because we need to have a positive impact. We cannot have an organization like this collapsing.
All right, Lerato, thank you for your time with us on the SABC and for highlighting the plight since the protest to the CMS offices in Centurion on the 3rd of July. Perhaps we'll await a right of reply just to see what the response is in relation to what you've now just echoed. But thank you for your time with us here on the SABC. Lerato Sehularo is a CMS Nehawu chairperson. Really just giving us an update again, the protest to the CMS offices in Centurion yesterday, loggerheads between employees and management. This is due to a wage negotiation deadlock for the 2022-2023 financial year. CMS decided to implement 5.5% increase instead of the 8.5% salary increase tabled by inflation.